All right, Greenleaf fans. At the moment, this is Veterans Day 11/11/19. This is honestly what I plan to be the final video on the young man at Faith's grave, unless new intel comes out. But I know when I recorded that first video, I did not expect it to do as well as it did. I think we're knocking on the door of 40,000 hits at this moment, so I am just in awe. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I mentioned this in my Sophia pregnant video that Greenleaf videos alone have helped the channel jump over 100,000 views in about a week. And I'm just blown away. So this, I plan to be the final video because there are just several things I want to talk about because you all have been leaving some amazing theories, thoughts, and on all these videos about who this young man is. I think the title of this video will be was the young man an angel? There are just so many things to talk about here. Okay. So before we go any further, you know the drill. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. We're knocking on the door of 96,000 subscribers. Like I kind of semi-calculated earlier this month, theoretically, we should be around 98,000 by the end of this month. You know, if things keep on at a decent pace like we are now, and hitting 100,000 by the second week of December. But you know, I can't do it without you. So hit that subscribe button. Also hit the bell notification icon when I upload videos. You know when I post them. Links to all of my social media in the description below: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook groups, Facebook pages. If you'd like to donate to the channel, there is a link to my PayPal, or you can hit me up on Cash App. And aside from that, I have over 300 items on my eBay store right now, free shipping on everything. There's a link to that in the description as well. We're talking Greenleaf, guys. In my community tab on the channel, I posted a poll, and a majority of the people think that this is the real AJ. This is the real AJ. The one we've been knowing for 8 episodes this season was a fake. He was someone who assumed the identity of Grace and Noah's son, and he infiltrated the Greenleaf family. There are just so many theories surrounding that. So let me look at my notes here. I actually got them bullet pointed because there are so many elaborate things. I want to say, I think it was a person named Hope on the YouTube channel that left a comment. And honestly, this is my favorite one. She was saying that, remember the scene where Grace and AJ were talking at the lake, and pretty much Grace was trying to understand why AJ was doing what he was doing, and he pretty much was like, you know, just like everything else in life, well, just like some things in life is not meant to be understood. He just wouldn't tell her why he's doing what he's doing. He didn't want Sophia to go with him on the walk, and then he just walked away from Grace, and she was, you know, there alone looking at the lake. And then the next day, we know it's the next day due to the fact that, you know, the scene between Phil and Charity at his apartment occurred that night. The next day, Grace is at the grave and praying, and then the young man comes out of the woods in black. Some people are like, well, remember, AJ appeared in the church in white. Then the guy at the grave site, he was wearing black. So, you know, hey, look at the death versus, you know, being reborn. One could think that possibly during his walk away from Grace, AJ overdosed or took his own life or something along those lines. And then when the young man came out of the woods, that was an angel of death. And I mean, you have to think about what he said. You know, everything has an expiration date, right? So it's possible that AJ took his own life. Now, we know that the young man from the woods on IMDb, he'll be showing up in episode 11, which is the next episode, as well as episode 18, which is the season finale, season 4. You could just, you know, brush off the episode 11 thing because maybe at the beginning of episode 11, they'll do like a previously on Greenleaf, and then the young man will appear in the previously on Greenleaf section of the episode, and then that will still count as an episode 11 appearance. I don't know. But I think that I did look on IMDb, and the actor that portrayed the AJ we knew all season, he was listed as appearing in 8 episodes. And those 8 episodes are all listed on IMDb as his appearances. Now, IMDb, I know, is not the is not the Bible of the actor's career stuff, so it's not always 100% accurate. They could have purposely not added certain things to it. But I mean, if we go off of IMDb strictly as it is now, then this episode was the final episode of the OG AJ. So he could either be dead, he either ran away, or he just isn't AJ. I don't know. There's just so many ways we can look at it. I think another good theory I thought of, excuse me, I didn't think about, but other people brought up was this could have been Mac and May's secret son. And it's like, well, Faith was, Mac and Faith's secret son. I could have sworn I said May by mistake. This could have been Mac and Faith's secret son. Faith was never pregnant. Well, she could have pulled a Grace and, went off somewhere and gave up the baby. And, okay, aside from the whole Faith secret son, I don't think Grace had twins. I just want to put out, I don't think Grace had twins. I just feel like that is way too crazy. Like, for one, Grace would have been like, wait, if one son found me, then what about the other one? What if he found me as well? I think what a lot of people have brought up is the foster care theory, that either AJ met this young man in foster care somewhere and heard about his situation where he looked up intel on the Greenleaf family, and then AJ got the idea to infiltrate, the Greenleafs via Grace. So he even told Grace, what was it, when he was at his apartment cooking and Grace was there and she was like telling him about Sophia's father, and then AJ was like, oh, I know he's a cook too. And it's like, yeah, I know more about, I did some research. I know more than you think I do. So it's possible that he just heard it through the grapevine, and then he just figured, oh, this could be a family I can get in on because, I don't have anything of my own. So that's a possibility. And it could explain why he's been cold to a majority of the family and not really want to get close to them, because he's not actually the AJ. And yeah, I know DNA test. Honestly, that was the biggest thing that people brought up. I mean, I saw Mamma Mia once, and within the first 20 minutes, I'm like, 3 potential fathers. Why not just get a DNA test? This movie would have saved us from like 15 terrible renditions of ABBA songs. Yeah, and I know, same deal on If Loving You Is Wrong, even though technically there have been DNA tests, we just haven't seen the results of them yet. So yeah. Another good one is the fact that Desert Hope, which I believe is like the halfway house that AJ was at when Grace found him, Desert Hope is, I believe, owned by Harmony and Hope. So some people are thinking that this was a scheme to disgrace Grace and kick the Greenleafs out of Calvary. That is an interesting theory, but honestly, I don't think that's the case, because given the fact that Bob was pissed the F off that Grace stepped down, especially after he found out that Phil, was behind it, I don't think that's it, because obviously Bob kept mentioning how Grace is a major part of his grand plan. So I don't think that's a very good theory, guys, but I don't think that's the case either. Wow. I guess another thing is the fact that I'm willing to bet that the young man at the grave was an angel. I mean, there are so many different things, like bypassing the security of the property in order to just, get to where he was. I feel like the fact that his timing was impeccable, that it's like, what they say, he may not come when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. He came right during a very emotional talk with God that Grace was having. And it's almost like this here. And if you go back to what AJ was telling Grace about the whole, not everything's meant to be understood in this life, and then everything has an expiration date. I feel like AJ gave Grace something to sit on that she was a bit confused by, because again, that didn't really answer her question as to why he was doing what he was doing. And then the young man, I feel like, gave Grace clarity. It's almost like AJ gave Grace confusion, but then the young man gave Grace clarity. I think another thing people have been talking about that I really love in the comments is everything has an expiration date. What if the young man was telling Grace something that was in a way signifying that, yeah, you all lost the church, but guess what? The expiration date on Calvary and the Greenleaf family has been reached. But the church is the Greenleaf family, because even if Harmony and Hope builds this elaborate church and youth center and this and that, Bob, Phil, Judy at the forefront, and Connie, the people are still behind the Greenleaf. So the Greenleafs can go elsewhere and build, and the people will follow. So it'll be the time of a new beginning. I like that theory a lot as well. Not necessarily that it has anything to do with AJ, but just a young man being a messenger. I really love that message. But of course, it goes back to what Lady Mae was saying this entire season, the whole thing about we got to get our own house and hearts in order before we can even think about getting this church back. But then she kind of went back on her words when she just jumped at Bob's offer, and then she got, booted out for Phil. So, sheesh. But, good grief. There, guys, this is just amazing. And even though I want this to be the final video because I don't want to spam the well, I mean, if the videos do well, I can't really do anything about it because I got bills. I'm pretty sure that I'll see another amazing comment that will just blow my socks off or something like that. But this is something that is really interesting. And I know this sounds controversial given the fact that this is the Haves and the Have-Nots review. Overall, I love this finale more than the Haves and the Have-Nots episode Show Not Tell. Oh, Jeremy, you blasphemy. I can't believe you'd say that. Well, I have to say, and I gave this episode a 10 out of 10. I remember giving, what did I give Show Not Tell, like a 7 or something like that? Only because if you go back to that episode, only the opening scene with David, Jeffrey, and the thugs, and then the ending of the episode with Wyatt shooting his parents and everything, those were really the only highlights of the episode. The only other one I can think of was Uncle Vinny returning, Mitch paying off the debts, and yeah, the middle of the episode was pretty boring. But in this Greenleaf episode, it was just nonstop. Oh my God, like what's going to happen next? And then it all culminated at the end where Grace was praying, and we really saw how bad everything was going for the family. So yeah, I stand by that. I think Greenleaf had a better finale than mid-season finale than the Haves and Have-Nots season finale. Yeah, and I stand by that. Come at me. Man. Okay, so the young man, I think, was an angel. Some people are saying that's the ghost of the real AJ. That's God coming in a similar form to AJ to talk with Grace. I mean, if you go back to Old Testament, that doesn't sound too far-fetched, but I just feel like this young man came at the right time. I think he was a spiritual being. I don't think he was flesh and bone. I mean, unless you count the actor that's playing him, but we're not arguing semantics here. And again, guys, this is all in good fun. And for the most part, I know there have been a couple of trolls. I was reading, and the thing is, when I'm reading the comments, I see people responding to comments because some of these series are just that damn good. It's okay to disagree, but don't be a tool about it, guys. For real. Like, honestly, I don't know. I mean, for the first time, with the Haves and the Have-Nots, like, hey, I might not know, but I'm very confident. But when it comes to Greenleaf, I'm kind of like, it's too good. I think the writers did a phenomenal job. The fact that we're talking about it this much, and I feel like, at least for this channel, the fact that those particular videos about the young man have been doing so well, I just think it goes to show that they did a remarkable job making us scratch our head. I'm not even like a frustrated, I need to figure it out. I'm just like, dang, I'm very interested to see what's going to happen next because I didn't see that part coming. And I know some people left some good comments like, I know this one person like, look, I think myself as a pretty solid, tough guy. But if I was in the middle of, a prayer at a gravestone and somebody rolled up on me like that from the woods, I would be out of there. And I'm like, dude, I'm with you on that one. But the young man seemed pretty relaxed, understanding, comforting. He didn't seem like, and I know some people are like, yeah, keep this AJ. The other AJ isn't as good as actor. I'm like, I feel like the AJ we got did what he was supposed to do. He's a young man who's had a rough life, doesn't know his family, is trying to find his way, isn't one to really warm up to others, that kind of thing. So I get it. Some people might not like the demeanor of the actor, but I feel like Greenleaf, for the most part, does a pretty solid job picking particular actors for a particular role. I mean, this isn't like some other shows I've talked about where people like, man, this person doesn't know how to act and stuff like that. So I feel like they picked the right guy for the job. So I'm not going to knock the dude for his acting. I think he's done exactly what he's supposed to do. I think it's the fact that most people like Grace, so they automatically dislike characters who don't like her. So that's kind of where I'm thinking it's going. But some people have literally just pointed out he can't act. I don't really get that vibe. I think he does. I think he did what he was supposed to do. And when I say dead, it's like, is he dead? I don't know. AJ could be dead. But I mean, what's his face? Crap. The lawyer, is it like Grace's half brother or whatever? The one that was helping AJ, but he walked out. He said he was going to the bathroom, but he didn't come back. He was the one that brought up a good question. It's like, well, if you're going to turn yourself in, why not just do it today? Why wait until tomorrow? So maybe AJ was just trying to get his ducks in order. I mean, his ducks in a row before he OD'd or something like that, because he realized that he was putting his own mother in jeopardy. I do not know. I really want to know what's up, man. I really want to know. I'm very excited. But the thing is, aside from the young man appearing at the grave, there's just so many other things that are, what are we going to talk about next? The church being destroyed in a week. It's almost like the walls of Jericho. What is it? They marched around it for 7 days, and on the 7th day, it came crashed to the ground. Yeah, the church being torn down. The new tension between the newly engaged May and Bishop, because she just jumped at the opportunity to take Bob's deal about consulting Bishop, and now she got kicked to the curb. Sophia, maybe she gets pregnant by Dante. Charity being broken down after being kicked to the curb by Phil, not to mention betraying her family, which was a major cause of the family losing the church, like her father warned her would happen. Carissa getting the chlamydia, her and Jacob having a falling out, but then the new drama unfolding after getting the will about how the Greenleafs got the house in the first place. And the list goes on, man. This is crazy. I really don't know what's going to happen next, but I know 2020 is going to be a fun ride, to say the least. So with that being said, guys, I'm on the camp that the young man was a spiritual presence. I'm going with that. Let me know if there are any other theories or thoughts on who this young man was. I feel like I pretty much went over just about every single one that I saw in the comments. If I missed anything, let me know. If the theory is kind of elaborate enough, I'll do a video. But for real, I really want this to be like the final chapter for now, until we get like a trailer within the next few months. I don't know when it's coming back, but you know, I'm pretty sure it'll come back soon. I mean, if I were to make, didn't I say in the video, like IMDb said January, but I don't know for sure. They might push it back, but maybe they'll just film season 5 next summer, and then it'll come back, you know, next fall. I mean, you know, later in the year. Again, I don't know for sure, but it makes sense to me. So again, we talked about being Mac and Faith's secret son, Grace's twin child. I don't think that's the case. Someone that AJ met in foster care or prison, and then he took his identity. AJ actually died, and then this was just a messenger to let, you know, Grace know about expiration dates. So this ghost wasn't the real AJ, but he came in the form of an AJ to let Grace know what happened. This is a guy who will take the fall for AJ, or this was the guy that AJ got blamed for when it came to robbing the store, even though they said they had fingerprints, right? So I'm pretty sure, and not to mention the AJ we know had the pill bottle. So yeah, I think that was really AJ. Yeah. Okay, that should about do it. And guys, I've already done my plugins at the beginning, you know, to make sure to follow me, subscribe, all that good stuff. So thanks so much for tuning in, and just thanks for making Greenleaf a fun ride this season. The only other Greenleaf videos I know I have to do will be like my season overview, and probably a video about the whole house thing about, you know, Carissa finding out from Fernando about Mrs. Davis. So let me know your thoughts. I will talk to you all soon. Hopefully this video does extremely well like the other ones. And yeah, onwards to 96,000 subscribers.